Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Chapter 6. Suta Uvacha Evam Nishamya Bhagavan Devarsherjanma Karma Cha Bhuyah Paprachatam Brahman Vyasa Satyavati Sutaha. Suta said, O Brahmanas, thus hearing all about Sri Narada's birth and activities, Vyasadeva, the incarnation of God and son of Satyavati, inquired as follows. Vyasa uvacha bhikshubir vipravasite विज्ञानादेष्टुभिस्तव विज्ञानादेष्ट्रिभिष्टव वर्तमानो वयस्याद्ये ततः किमकरोद्भवान्. Sri Vyasadeva said, What did you, Narada, do after the departure of the great sages who had instructed you in scientific transcendental knowledge before beginning of your present birth? What did you do, Narada? Do after departure of the great sages who had instructed you in the scientific transcendental knowledge before the beginning of your present birth. Swayambhuvah kaya vrittya vartitam te param vayah katam chedamudasrakshihi Kale prapte kalevaram. O son of Brahma, how did you pass your life after initiation, and how did you attain this birth, having quit your old one in due course? Prakalpa vishayametam smritim te muni sattama nahyesha vyavadhat kala yesha sarva nirakritihi. O great sage, time annihilates everything in due course. So how is it that this subject matter, which happened prior to this day of Brahma, is still fresh in your memory, undisturbed by time? Narada uvacha bhikshubir vipravasite vignanadeshtabhirmama vartamano vayasyadye tata etad akarasham. Sri Narada said, The great sages who had imparted scientific knowledge of transcendence to me departed for other places, and I had to pass my life in this way. Ekatmaja me janani yoshin mudacha kinkari gatau mayyatmane nanyagatau mayyatmaje nanyagatau Chakre Snehanubandhanam. I was the only son of my mother, who was not only a simple woman but a maidservant as well. Since I was her only offspring, she had no other alternative for protection. She bound me with the tie of affection. Sa swa सा स्वतन्त्रा न कल्पासीत् योगक्षेमं ममेच्छति ईशस्य हि वशे लोको योषादारुमयीयता. She wanted to look after my maintenance properly, but because she was not independent, she was not able to do anything for me. The world is under the full control of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, everyone is like a wooden doll in the hands of a puppet master. Aham cha tad brahmakule उशिवां तदुपेक्षया दिग्देशकालव्युत्पन्नो बालकः पञ्चहायनः. When I was a mere child of 5 years, I lived in a Brahmana school. I was dependent on my mother's affection and had no experience of different lands. Ekada nirgatam gehad uhantim duhantim nishigampati sarvo dashat padasprushtah krupanam kalachoditah. Once upon a time, my poor mother, when going out one night to milk a cow, was bitten on the leg by a serpent influenced by supreme time. Tada tadahamishasya bhaktanam samabhipsatah anugraham manyamanaha pratishtam dishamuttaram. I took this as the special mercy of the Lord, who always desires benediction for his devotees, and so thinking, I started for the north. Spitan janapadams tatra puragrama-vavrajakaran केटकर्वटवाटीश्च वनान्युपवनानि च. After my departure, I passed through many flourishing metropolises, towns, villages, animal farms, mines, agricultural lands, valleys, flower gardens, nursery gardens, and natural forests. Chitradatu vichitradrin. Chitradatu vichitradrin. Ibhagna druman. Ibabhagna bhujadruman. Jalashayan chivajalan. Nalini surasevitaha chitrasvanai patragatair vibhramarashriyah chitradatu vichitradrin. Ibhabhagna mujadruman jalashayan chivajalan Nalini Surasevitaha Trichasvanai Patra Ratair Vibhramarashriyaha. I passed through hills and mountains full of reservoirs of various minerals like gold, silver, and copper, and through tracts of land with reservoirs of water filled with beautiful lotus flowers, fit for the denizens of heaven, decorated with bewildered bees and singing birds. Nalavenusharastan ba Kusha Kushakīchaka Gahwaram Yeva Yevati Yatoham Adraksham Vipinam Mahat Ghoram Pratibhayakaram Vyaloluka Shivajiram. I then passed alone through many forests of rushes, bamboo, reeds, sharp grass, weeds, and caves, which were very difficult to go through alone. I visited deep, dark, and dangerously fearful forests, which were the play yards of snakes, owls, and jackals. Parishrantendriyatmaham Trutparito Bhibukshitaha Snatva Pitva Hrade Nadya Upasprushto Gatakshamaha Gatashramah. Thus travelling, I felt tired, both bodily and mentally, and I was both thirsty and hungry. So I took a bath in the river lake and also drank water. By contacting water, I got relief from my exhaustion. Tasmin nirmanujeranye piplalopasta ashritaha Atmanatmanamatmastam yata shrutamachintayam. After that, under the shadow of a banyan tree in an uninhabited forest, I began to meditate upon the Supersoul situated within, using my intelligence as I had learned from liberated souls. Dhyayatas charanambojam bhavanirjitachetasa outkantyashrukalakshasya hridasin me shanairharihi. As soon as I began to meditate upon the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, with my mind transformed in transcendental love, tears rolled down my eyes, and without delay, the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna appeared on the lotus of my heart. As soon as I began to meditate upon the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, with my mind transformed in transcendental love, tears rolled down my eyes, and without delay, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, appeared on the lotus of my heart. Prematibhara nirbhinna Pulakankoti nirvrutaha Anandasamplave lino Napashyamubhayam mune. O Vasudeva, at that time, being exceedingly overpowered by feelings of happiness, every part of my body became separately enlivened. Being absorbed in the ocean of ecstasy, I could not see both myself and the Lord. Rupam Bhagavato Yattan Manahkantam Shuchapaham Apashyan Sahasottaste vai, Vaiklavya Durmana Iva. The transcendental form of the Lord, as it is, satisfies the mind's desire and at once erases all mental incongruities. Upon losing that form, I suddenly got up, being perturbed, as is usual when one loses that which is desirable. Didrukshastadaham bhuyah दिदृक्षुस्तदहं भूयः प्रणिधाय मनोहृदि वीक्ष्यमाणोऽपि न पश्य वीक्ष्यमाणोऽपि न पश्यम् अवितृप्त इवातुरः Avitrypta ivaturaha. I desired to see again the transcendental form of the Lord, but despite my attempts to concentrate upon the heart with eagerness to view that form again, I could not see him any more, and thus dissatisfied, I was very much aggrieved. Yevam yatantam vijane Mamaha gocharo giram Gambhiraslakshaya vacha Gambhiraslakshaya vacha Suchah prashamayanniva. Seeing my attempts in that lonely place, the personality of Godhead, who is transcendental to all mundane description, spoke to me with gravity and pleasing words just to mitigate my grief. Hantasmin janmani bhavan mamam drashtumiharhati. Hantasmin janmani bhavan Mam drashtumiharhati avipakvakashayanam durdarshoham kuroginam avipakvakashayanam durdarshoham kuyoginam. O Narada, the Lord spoke, I regret that during this lifetime you will not be able to see me anymore. Those who are incomplete in service and who are not completely free from all material taints can hardly see me. Sakrudyat darshitam rupam etat kamayate nagha matkamah shanakai sadhu sarvan munchati hridyatan hrichyayan. O virtuous one, you have only once seen me. O virtuous one, you have only once seen my person, and this is just to increase your desire for me, because the more you hanker for me, the more you will be freed from all material desires. Satsevaya dirghayapi Satsevaya dirghayapi Jata mai drudamatihi Hitva vadyamimam lokam Ganta majjanatamasi Ganta majjanatamasi. By service of the absolute truth, even for a few days, a devotee attains firm and fixed intelligence in me. Consequently, he goes on to become my associate in the transcendental world after giving up the present deplorable material worlds. Matirmayi nibadheyam na vipadyeta karhichit praja sarga nirodhepi smrutischa madanugrahat. Intelligence engaged in my devotion cannot be thwarted at any time, even at the time of creation as well as at the time of annihilation. Your remembrance will continue by my mercy. एतावद् उक् एतावद् उक्त्वोपरर एतावद् उक्त्वोपरराम एतावदुक्त्वोपरराम तन्महद् भूतं न भो लिङ्गमलिङ्गमीश्वरम् अहं च तस्मै महतां महीयसे शीर्ष्णावनामं विदधेनुकं पितः. Then that supreme authority, personified by sound and unseen by the eyes, but most wonderful, stopped speaking. Feeling a sense of gratitude, I offered my obeisances unto him, bowing my head. Yetavad uktavoparamat एतावदुक्त्वोपरराम bhutam न भो लिङ्गमलिङ्गमीश्वरम् अहं च तस्मै महतां महीयते शीर्ष्णावनामं विदधेनुकं पितः. नामान्यनन्तस्य हतत्रपः पठन् गुह्यानि भद्राणि कृतानि च स्मरन् गां पर्यटं स्तुष्टमना गतस्पृहः कालं प्रतीक्षन् विभदो विमत्सरः. नामान्यनन्तश्च हृतत्रपः पठन् गुह्यानि भद्राणि कृतानि च स्मरन् गां पर्यटं तुष्टमनागतस्पृहः कालं प्रतीक्षन् विबधो विमत्सरः. Thus I began chanting the holy name and fame of the Lord by repeated recitation, ignoring all the formalities of material world. Such chanting and remembering of the transcendental pastimes of the Lord are benedictory. So doing, I travelled all over the earth, fully satisfied, humble, and unenvious. एवं कृष्णामतेर्ब्रह्मन् नासक्तस्यामलात्मनः कालः प्रादुरभूत्काले तडित्सौदामनीयता. And so, O Brahmana Vyasadeva, in due course of time, I, who was fully absorbed in thinking of Krishna and who therefore had no attachments being completely freed from all material taints, met with death as lightning and illumination occur simultaneously. प्रयुज्यमाने मयि तां शुद्धां भागवतीं तनूम् आरब्धकर्मनिर्वाणो न्यपतत् पाञ्चभौतिकः. Having been awarded a transcendental body befitting an associate of the personality of Godhead, I quit the body made of 5 material elements, and thus all acquired fruitive results of work, karma, stopped. Kalpanta idamadaya शयानेभ्यस्युदन्वतः शिशयिष्योरनुप्राणं विविशोऽन्तरहं विभो विविशेन्तरहं विभो. At the end of the millennium, when the personality of Godhead, Lord Narayana, lay down within the water of devastation, Brahma began to enter into him along with all creative elements, and I also entered through his breathing. Sahasrayuga paryante उत्तायेदं सिसृक्षतः मरीचिमिश्रा ऋषयः प्राणेभ्योऽहं च जज्ञिरे. After 4,300,000,000 solar years, 4,300,000,000 solar years, when Brahma awoke to create again by the will of the Lord, all the rishis like Marichi, Angira, Atri, and so on were created from the transcendental body of the Lord, and I also appeared along with them. Antarbahischa lokam strin पर्येम्यस्कन्दितव्रतः अनुग्रहान् महाविष्णोर् अविघातगतिः क्वचित्. Since then, by the grace of the Almighty Vishnu, I travel everywhere without restriction, both in the transcendental world and in the 3 divisions of the material world. This is because I am fixed in unbroken devotional service of the Lord. Devadattamimam veenam स्वरब्रह्म विभूषितां मूर्छयित्वा हरिकथां गायमानश्चराम्यहम्. Thus I travel constantly, singing the transcendental message of the glories of the Lord, vibrating this instrument called Veena, which is charged with transcendental sound and which was given to me by Lord Krishna. Praghayata swaviryani tirthapadah priyashravaha ahuta iva me shigram darshanam yati chetasi. The Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, whose glories and activities are pleasing to hear at once, appears on the seat of my heart as if called for, as soon as I begin to chant his holy activities. Etadhya etadhyaturachittanam matra sparshochaya muhuhu bhava sindhuplavo drushto haricharyanuvarnanam. It is personally experienced by me that those who are always full of cares and anxieties due to the desiring contact of senses with their objects can cross the ocean of nescience on a most suitable boat, the constant chanting of the transcendental activities of the personality of Godhead. यमादिभिर्योगपतैः कामलोभहतो मुहुः मुकुन्दसेवया यद्वत् तत्तात्मादा न शम्यति तत्तात्मादा न संयति. It is true that by practicing restraint on the senses by the yoga system, one can get relief from the disturbances of desire and lust, but this is not sufficient to give satisfaction to the soul, for this satisfaction is derived from devotional service to the personality of Godhead. It is true that by practicing restraint of the senses by yoga system, one can get grief from the disturbances of desire and lust, but this is not sufficient to give satisfaction to the soul, for this satisfaction is derived from devotional service to the personality of Godhead. Sarvam tadidamakhyatam yat prushtoham tvaya nagha janma karma rahasyam me bhavataschatmatoshanam. O Vyasadeva, you are freed from all sins. Thus, I have explained my birth and activities of self-realization as you asked. All this will be conducive for your personal satisfaction also. Suta uvacha evam sambhashya Bhagavan Narado Vasavi Sutam Amantriya Veenam Ranayan Yayo yadhrutchiko munihi yayo yadhrutchiko munihi. Sri Sutta Goswami said, thus addressing Vyasadeva, Srila Narada Muni took leave of him, and vibrating on his veena instrument, he left to wander at his free will. Aho devarshi dhanyoyam Aho devarshir dhanyoham Yatkirtim Shangadhanvanaha Gayan madhyanidam tantriya Ramayatyaturam jagat Ramayatyaturam jagat. All glories and success to Srila Narada Muni, because he glorifies the activities of the personality of Godhead, and so doing he himself takes pleasure and also enlivens all the distressed souls of the universe. Thus ends the chapter entitled Conversation between Narada and Vyasadeva. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.